In every model of a large ship, there comes a time when you encounter a rather tedious and repetitive part of the build. Today, I encounter the first of those for this ship. That is the construction, or at least the start of the construction, of the secondary battery. Although this was a highly repetitive task for me because of the 10 mounts that I needed to make, for you this video will not be any different than the usual videos. I, of course, will not show you the construction of the same thing 10 times. Although I have started by showing you the plastic components that are required to build these mounts, the reality is that none of these components will be used. The FlyHawk detail upgrade kit provides complete replacements, resin turrets and brass barrels to replace the plastic components. Strangely though, they have also provided photo etch that needs to be installed on their resin turrets. Usually resin turrets are higher detail, which means that you don't have to install photo etch because it is molded directly into the resin, but in this case FlyHawk has elected to put some of the details in photo etch. For small parts that stand off the side of the turret, this makes sense, like these guardrails around the openings for the barrels and these ladders that have rungs that stand off the side of the turret. But for components like these covers over the openings for the viewfinders and these strips that go around the openings for the barrels, it makes a lot less sense. I do wonder why they didn't just mold that directly into the resin. Regardless of why the decision was made, the photo etch still needs to be installed, and in many of the cases I need to install the same type of photo etch 20 times, hence tedious and repetitive. Another thing that's quite nice about resin components is that they usually don't require a lot of cleanup. You can usually just clip them off of their base or start working with them immediately and not have to worry about correcting any defects. Unfortunately, these resin components do have problems. While these turrets didn't come attached to any base, they were all just loose in a packet, you can clearly see where they were attached to the base, and I suppose in the factory they were pre-removed from the base for you. Unfortunately, they were poorly removed, and there is a little divot in the back of each turret. This means that the first thing that needs to be done for every turret is to apply putty to the back of it to fill in that divot. While the putty is drying before I sand the surface smooth, I can turn my attention to something that's going to be required in the future, a way to attach the turrets to the superstructure. In the resin's molding, FlyHawk has provided a small hole in the center of the turret. Unfortunately, this hole is just a little bit too small to fit any of the plastic rods that I have. The closest sized rod that I have to this hole is 2.4 millimeters, and this 2.4 millimeter diameter rod also fits in perfectly with the holes in the plastic superstructure. To ensure that there isn't too much play when the turrets are installed in the superstructure, I'm going to drill out this hole to 2.4 millimeters so that I can super glue in sections of 2.4 millimeter rod to make that connection. After drilling out all the holes and preparing the sections of 2.4 millimeter rod, and then waiting a bit more, the putty is ready to be sanded off. To remove this putty, I'm going to use my new toy, this 5mm circular sander. I have the 1000 grit sanding sponge attached to the end of it. This is quite convenient, it works very well in this gap and easily removes the putty, leaving a nice smooth surface with very little effort on my part. I'm really liking this little sander. After correcting that defect on the back of these turrets, I need to correct yet another problem with these turrets. Unfortunately, the underside of the base of these turrets is not flat. There are small ridges that need to be removed so that the turret can sit flat on its platform. This is easily achieved using a bar file and a few swipes across the bottom of the turret. After applying these corrections to all 10 turrets, I want to make sure that the corrections have been successful before I install photo etch. To do that, I spray the back of all of the turrets with Mr. Surfacer 1000 to help reveal any defects. On a handful of the turrets, there were some defects which required a little bit more light sanding, but once that was done, I was happy with the condition of all of the turrets, so I moved on to installing the rods that connect the turrets to the superstructure. Since this has already been prepared, installation is very simple. I place a small drop of medium viscosity superglue inside the hole in the turret, and then place the rod into the hole. That completes all of the plastic work for these turrets. So now for the photo etch, starting with the smallest pieces of photo etch, the openings for the rangefinders. Normally in a detail upgrade kit with the very small pieces of photo etch, the manufacturer will provide additional parts. Though for this component, it was in FlyHawk's wisdom to provide exactly 0 extra components. This means I'm going to have to be very careful to not lose any of these things. This is further complicated by the fact that these components need to be folded, and it's typically during folding of these components that they go springing off, and that's when you lose them. So to reduce the risk of that happening, I'm not going to remove them from their fret before I fold them. I will simply cut the connection points for half of the component and then fold it while the last connection point is still attached to the fret. This significantly reduces the risk of losing these components. With all the photo etch components folded and removed from their fret, installation can begin. Once again, I find myself reaching for this handy little vise. Ever since I've bought it, it's featured in every video. After clamping the turret in the vise, apply a small drop of medium viscosity superglue to the rangefinders on the turret, then place the photo etch cover on top of the glue. This is medium viscosity superglue, so I do have time to adjust the component before the glue sets, bonding it in position. This process is then simply repeated over and over and over again. There are in total 30 of these very small pieces of photo etch that need to be installed. While this did take me a fair amount of time to do, you don't have to suffer through that, and we can just move on to the next piece of photo etch. Oh, just one thing before we do go on to that next piece of photo etch. After tacking these panels in place with medium viscosity superglue, I did apply a little bit of extra thin superglue to the edge just to ensure that they were properly bonded in place. Moving on, let's do some ladders. First, I'm going to install these little 3-rung ladders. I'm also going to make this somewhat odd decision and install these ladders on all but one of the turrets. And that's simply because the camouflage pattern on one of the turrets runs through where this ladder will be situated, which means that if the ladder is installed, it'll be difficult to paint the camouflage pattern in that area. So for that ladder, I'm going to leave it off, paint the camouflage pattern, and once the camouflage pattern is painted, install the ladder. At least that means I only have 18 of these ladders to install this time around. Ladders this small and delicate are difficult to fold. My preferred way of folding ladders is to use a photo etch folding tool. It's not that ladders are particularly complicated to fold, it's just that there's a risk of getting the posts out of alignment if you try and fold them by hand. So I'll use the photo etch folding tool. Once the ladders are folded, installation is quite simple. All that I do is place a small drop of medium viscosity superglue on one of the posts of the ladder, then put it in contact with the side of the turret. This superglue is only there to tack the ladders in place. It will be reinforced with extra thin superglue later on. After installing all 18 ladders, I pick up some extra thin superglue with a 0.5mm wire and apply it to the base of each of the ladder's posts. Capillary action will draw the superglue up the post, firmly bonding the ladder to the side of the turret. Essentially, the same process is repeated for these longer ladders, although in this case I'm only going to be installing 16 of the ladders because 2 of the turrets have a part of the camouflage pattern that runs through the area where these ladders will be installed on the turrets. As before, the process was remove the ladders from their fret, fold them in the photo etch folding tool, tack them in place at one end, then reinforce the full length of the ladder using extra thin superglue applied with a wire. Another good thing about this vise, because it holds the component very steady, is that I'm able to make much better time lapses for you to look at. The last piece of photo etch that I'm going to install in this video are these panels that go around the openings for the guns. I'm not going to be installing those rails that go around the openings. They just stick off the side of the turret too far, and I think they'll get in the way while I'm painting, so I'd rather leave them for now. To install these panels, it's simply a matter of cutting them off of their fret, imparting a bend on the scored line on the underside of these components. They do fold quite easily, and then carefully positioning them on the turret. Once in the correct position, I bond them in place using extra thin superglue that I apply to the edge of the component from the inside of the opening for the gun. Capillary action draws the superglue underneath the length of the component, firmly bonding it in place. As you would expect, this process is then repeated until I've installed all 20 of these components. During the installation of some of these pieces of photo etch, because of how I was holding them in place with my finger, capillary action did draw some of that superglue underneath my finger, leaving marks on the top of the turret where my finger was. Obviously, I don't want these marks, so I removed them using superglue debonder. Superglue debonder will not harm resin or photo etch, so it's a very safe process. Once I was confident that there was no excess superglue around the photo etch and that the photo etch was well glued down, I then applied a layer of surfacer. Although I was quite sure that there wasn't any excess superglue, I want to be absolutely certain before I move on, and by spraying surfacer, any little defects will be revealed. Fortunately though, no defects were revealed, and I was quite happy with the state of these turrets. They are set aside to join the rest of the superstructure while they wait to be painted in their first round of camouflage. In the next video, I will continue working on the ship's armament by starting on the main battery. If you don't want to wait for the scheduled release of videos and want to watch them when they are uploaded, consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below. If you would like to support the channel, I can subscribe, and as always, questions are welcome in the comments. Thank you for watching. Cheers.